In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create a smoky particle background inspired by Doctor Who using BCC filters in DaVinci Resolve. Hi, here I am in DaVinci Resolve, and this is part 2 of my tutorial on creating a title sequence inspired by the Doctor Who opening. So this is pretty much where we left off last time, just creating the text here, and today I'm going to show you how to create the background, the particles that are coming at you. It's actually pretty easy, so I'm just going to duplicate this clip to get started, go into it in the color settings, and I'm going to reset everything and start from scratch. So you can see how it's going to look when we're done, but don't worry, it's pretty easy. Okay, so I've got nothing but a compound clip here, and within that clip it's nothing, just a black solid. So everything's going to start with a filter called Organic Strands. That is in the BCC Particles group. It's an auto-animating particle effect. The result looks kind of like energy strands that are wiggling in space. And get a better look at it here. So you can see, ooh, animated spaghetti, I don't know. But let's make some changes to it. One cool thing about BCC effects is this thing called the effects browser. If I launch that, it shows me all the presets that come with the effect, and I can just preview them live on screen. I can even play them if they are animated or auto-animating presets like so. So it's a very cool feature. It narrows down the selection process very quickly. And this first one, Cool Energy Paths, is the one I'm going to start with. So I'm going to hit apply, and now I've got blue streaks of energy coming at me. I'm going to make a few changes to this now and make it look more like smoke. So the first thing I'm going to do is increase the strand count, about 90. Next, I'm going to increase the thickness quite a bit, so it almost fills the screen there. And to compensate for that, we're going to turn down the density of the strands. So this gives us fewer particles per strand. It also makes it render quite a bit quicker if you need a shortcut there. Next, we're going to come down to the source group. I'm going to change the shape to sphere and increase the scale master so it's all coming from a large circular origin. Then I'm going to go down to the movement group and decrease the move speed to about 100. So that way the particles aren't coming quite so fast at us. Makes it look a little bit more smoky if they're going slow. And finally, in the particles group, I'm going to change the image it's using. So by default, it's using this cool sparkle 4-point image. But to make it look like smoke, I'm going to scroll up here to Cloud 1 Gray. Alright, and if it looks a little bit strong at these settings, a couple of things we're going to change. Going to change the transfer mode from add to screen, and we're going to decrease the opacity back up in the top group here. And lastly, we're going to increase the thickness again, so it really fills the screen with these kind of clouds. Alright, so there you have the smoke part of the background. Now I'm going to create a parallel node and create some energy beams coming out. And you may have guessed I'm going to use Organic Strands again for that. And this time I'm going to load that same preset, Cool Energy Paths. I'm going to keep them as energy paths. I'm just going to change a couple of things. I'm going to turn down the length, make them a little shorter. I'm going to turn down the count just a little bit. And I'm going to change the style of noise in their movement pattern. So they're actually just kind of following a noise pattern, which is why they look all curly and wavy like that. So if I come down to the organic noise group, I can increase the random bend. It gives the noise a stronger effect. And I can change the noise character. And I'm going to use the curly preset. So that'll make it look a little bit more circular. It's definitely a nice fit for this kind of opening. And the last thing I'm going to do is add another filter another parallel node, and this is going to be particle emitter. Now for this one, I'll quickly solo the track so you can see what it's doing. It's like organic strands, except organic strands is actually a static particle effect. Particle emitter is creating new particles every second, or how often you tell it to. So they're fundamentally different, but the end result is very similar. So again, I'm going to go through the presets in the browser. I'm going to find one that looks about right for this tunnel effect. And interface definitely has that look going for it. And you can see that the interface isn't really coming at us, so I've got to make some changes here. I'm going to go into the emitter group and increase the particle speed, probably something between 1 and 300. And here you get a nice sort of tunnel effect. These very drawn-on designs coming at us. So although that looks really cool, I want to go a little bit more light streak kind of effect in this title. So I'm going to come down to the particle group and change the particle it's using. Instead of sci-fi, we're going to use sonic boom. So that gives us a cool looking light streak. You also might have noticed this large bright orb in the center. Well, those are all the spawn particles that are turned on in this preset. So if you don't like them, go down to the spawn particles group and just set spawn particles to be off. There, so now we just have those nice little half rings coming at us. Okay, now I might even want to turn down the birth rate just to make sure we don't get too many things going on here at once. I know it's only set to 3, but I'm going to set it to 2 or even 1.5. There we go. And now let's unhighlight that effect so we all see it together. Ah, very nice. And now that I have all my effects together, I'm going to go into this parallel node, going to morph it into a layer mix node, and set it to add composite mode, just in case it goes on top of other media. And now that we've created that, we just put it under the text. Because we remembered to set our text to be a alpha channel. And one more thing I can do to the text now that everything is all set, I can add a glow effect. So going back into the node for the 3D text, I'm going to add a serial node, Alt-S, and go into the film style category, find this film glow filter, just put it on the serial node. And although it doesn't expand the alpha of the text, it does blend the colors in the text nicely. You can even turn up the glow intensity a bit to give it a more smooth look. Okay, and that's it. Creating a Doctor Who inspired opening sequence using BCC filters in DaVinci Resolve. So hopefully you liked what you saw here and want to see more. We offer a lot more filters for DaVinci Resolve than these few. So check it out, download a free trial version, and that's all at borisfx.com.